Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It's time for another edition of Design Time. We have a QR code for you right there on your screen to get more information on today's topic. You can scan that with your phone, your tablet, or even your iPad. We are out in Auburn at Tri-City Furniture with our great friend Kathy. Kathy, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're talking about furniture.
We're talking about furniture. So, Kathy, today's topic probably affects a lot of our viewers trying to decorate for a small space or maybe a small room. So, is it hard to find smaller pieces of furniture?
Well, in American manufacturing, really no. There are a lot of small things made because American manufacturers understand that not every house is really big and the rooms aren't really big. So we have a great combination of smaller furniture and larger. But imports, I think that our houses are huge, and so a lot of their furniture without scale and design, they're just kind of big boxes, so they are big.
So, Kathy, tell us, what do you suggest that we do for a smaller space?
Well, keep in mind in a small room that you want to use less pieces. So, for instance, if you wanted 2 chairs and you're going to put a table between, definitely need a small table. There standardly can be 24 or 28 inches, but you can get narrow tables that were 10 and only 14 inches. So that makes a big difference. But then if you would consider using a love seat, that actually will take up even less space because instead of having 4 arms with 2 chairs, because you have an arm on each side, then you're only dealing with 2 arms. So you're going to shorten that piece, take up less space, and then the inches that go between pieces, so between a table and an arm, you're not losing those small inches either. So really important to think about the number of pieces and then how big they are.
So, Kathy, that makes so much sense. Tell us some other ways that we could save inches.
Well, the big thing today is understanding a seat cushion is pretty standard. We would have them between 21 to 22 inches, generally speaking. So the difference in size has to come down to the arm. We have small arms that are maybe 2, 3, 4 inches, all the way up to 15 to 18 inches. And we've seen those big arms with a big pillow, but it can change the size of a chair, just a plain chair, from about 30 inches up to 46. That's a big difference when you have a small space. That scale, cutting down the visual look of it to keep it looking small is really important.
So, Kathy, what about if you want to use a sofa or a sectional?
Well, again, considering the size, but I will say that a lot of times if your room can accommodate a sectional, it would be a better piece than trying to put like a sofa and a chair or another chair, because every time we take a different piece, we waste inches. So this is a very small sectional here, but it takes up less space than a love seat and a chair because we're only using 2 arms and not 4, and then we're not wasting any inches in between.
So, Kathy, is it important to consider the size of your accent pieces too, like your end tables?
Yes, so we can see I have a really small coffee table, and again, it's designed to be there and to be usable, but the scale of it is very, very small. End tables, they can be wide, but they can be 10 inches wide too, so that would really help. It's really important to consider how much wall space you have because so many things get in our way when we're working with a small space.
And Kathy, speaking of small spaces and smaller rooms, it's kind of hard to set up sometimes. So how do you determine the setup for a small room?
Well, usually we will get your measurements and we'll do somewhat of a floor plan. The thing that really is hard to work with is where your walkways are, if you have a lot of doors, windows, televisions, because they're so big. They were not made for small rooms. So we like to do floor plan to kind of put things in perspective, make sure the scale of it works, and then make sure that we have the comfort that we need, how we use it, if we want to put our feet up with an ottoman. So a lot of different things to consider, but it's a lot easier to do it on paper than it is to buy something and then keep moving it around and find out it really doesn't fit.
Yeah. And Kathy, why are so many large pieces? Well, why are so many large pieces since there are so many small homes?
Well, that's because of the imports, really. Imports are not aware. They think we all live in mansions. And according to where they live, yes, our homes are bigger. But American manufacturers understand that all of our houses are not big, all of our rooms aren't huge. And so they have a lot of smaller chairs, smaller sofas, smaller sectionals, end tables, all those accents can come very, very small size. There are sizes for every room in every space. This isn't rocket science. We got to deal with sofas, love seats, chairs, sectionals. There's a lot of things out there, but we want to make sure that we get it scaled to our space.
And Kathy, did you want to show us this?
Well, I was just going to say there are usually several different setups. We might like a sectional, we might like a sofa and chair, but it depends on how much space you have as to really what will work. And so you have to consider a lot of things, making sure that we get everything in there for the way we use the space.
All right, Kathy, thank you so much for all the tips and tricks for putting together a small space.
Yes, keep in mind it's the number of pieces. Keep less pieces, make them a little bigger, and then it will fit usually into the space easier. Furniture in a store lots of times looks smaller than it actually will when you get it to your house. So keep that in mind. Numbers don't lie.
Kathy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here with us for this edition of Design Time. For more information on this topic, scan that QR code on your screen or head over to our website, WNEM.com.